Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be watercolor painting a light bulb. That is correct. And I am honestly expecting this to be quite the interesting experience because I'm going to be trying to watercolor paint a lit light bulb. And I think the interesting thing about this experience is going to be trying to make it actually look like it's lit. So what I'm going to be doing is, well, of course, first off, actually drawing the light bulb with my Pentel Graph Gear 500 mechanical pencil. And then after that, I'm going to watercolor paint it, but I'm actually going to be watercolor painting out of the lines that I draw quite a bit, just simply because I want to make it look like it's lit. I want to create a haze around the light bulb, and I think that's going to be the interesting challenge to today's video. After I watercolor paint the light bulb, though, I am going to go over all of the lines that I created with my mechanical pencil, once again, with my Sharpie S gel pen in 0.7 millimeter size. Overall, I am thinking that this experience is going to be shaping up to be an interesting one, and I am very, very, very excited to, well, watercolor paint a light bulb in today's video. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and get some lead out of my mechanical pencil right here, or I guess it's not technically lead, it's graphite. I'm going to call it lead, though. And let's go ahead and start, well, drawing the light bulb that I'm going to be, well, watercolor painting in today's video. I think I'm going to start off with the bottom of the light bulb just to make sure I can get all of the proportions correct and everything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and just start, I think, right in the middle. This is almost right in the middle. Let's just go with this right here. And let's just go like that kind of thing. I think that should be good. And then now let's have this go down. And then let's have another one right here. Just like that. And then I'm just going to have that shrink a little bit. And then I'm going to have this side shrink a little bit too. And then I'm just going to have that come across as well. Just like that. And then I think it's going to stay the same all the way until pretty much the end. Just like that. And I think I'm going to have it come down to there. And let's just have that come across once again. And then I'm just going to have that right there. I'm thinking that is a little bit too sharp. I'm going to get some of my eraser out. I'm using a pencil click eraser in today's video. It's a great eraser. I really do like it. Excuse me. I'm drinking a Monster, so I'm going to be burping a little bit throughout this video too. Let's just go ahead and fix that real quick. And there we go. That's much better. That is much better. I did not want it to be as distinct as it was. And now let's go ahead and actually draw the light bulb itself. So I'm thinking I want it to be like that kind of thing. And it doesn't need to be even, but I do want it to be more even than not. And that should work. That should work in all honesty. I also want to have a part come up. And I'm trying to remember how like the inside of a light bulb looks. So I'm thinking I'm just going to have like, I'm thinking I'm going to have it come up like that. And then it's just going to come up like that kind of thing. And there we go. Just like that. And I'm thinking that is how the inside of a light bulb works. I hope. Not really exactly sure, in all honesty. I do want to add a face to this light bulb as well, and I'm thinking I might have made that come up too much. Like, it looks like a light bulb, yes, but I'm thinking what I might do instead of actually having this is I might just have the face, and then I might just have, like, the wick be, like, curving up to, like, this point right here, so I have plenty of room for the face. I'm thinking that might be what I do. Just trying to think this all the way through to make sure I have it all set up the way I want before I actually start watercolor painting. Because once I start watercolor painting, I can't go back. So let's just go ahead and just have this be a little curvy, just like that. A little curvy, just like that kind of thing. And then let's just have it stop right there. And let's go ahead and draw the face now. I'm going to have the face come out like that. And then the other eye just like that. There I want it to be a little bit longer. And let's just have it be like that. Just like that. I'm thinking that's all good. I'm just going to go ahead and put an eyebrow on there as well. And there we go. That should be just about perfect. I do think I want this eyebrow to be up just a little bit more and just be a little bit sharper though. And I want this one to go up just a little bit more and be a little bit sharper as well. Well, it was already pretty sharp, but that should work. That should fit what I want. So I do think without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and start watercolor painting the light bulb that I've just drawn. I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out. This is kind of an experiment, but I am very excited to watercolor paint it nonetheless. Oh, excuse me. Alrighty though, I just took a sip of my Monster. Let's go ahead and figure out what colors I want to use for my light bulb. So I think first off, I'm going to go ahead and get two pencils out, or paint brushes out. I've got my Fundamentals Creative Mark 6 shader, and I've got my Fundamentals Creative Mark 2 shader as well. I'm going to be using this one for all of the details. I'm going to be using this one to both wet the paper, and I'm going to also be using it to do any large details and everything like that. Like all of the colors I'm going to be doing on this right here. Like I'm just going to be going over all of this. I'm not going to be caring about avoiding anything or anything like that. I'm just going to be going all over all of this with one large shade, and then I'm going to be doing all of the details with this one, and then all of the bottom part with this one as well. Well, with this one. But I'm trying to figure out where I want to start off. Do I want to start off with the bottom portion, which I do think I now want to add something more to. I want to just have some more lines coming down like that. There we go. Much better. And I'm thinking, do I want to start off with the bottom portion or do I want to start with the top portion? I'm thinking I'm going to start with the top portion because, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to start with the top portion. And I want to do the edges. I want the edges to be sort of the most distinct part, and then I want it to get a little bit like almost white in the middle. Not quite white, but almost white in the middle. So I want it to be a lot lighter in the middle, and then I want it to be really light around the edges as well. That is pretty much my goal. First off, I'm just going to go ahead and wet the paper, just so I can do some wet on wet today. I'm not going to be doing wet on dry or nothing like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and wet the paper, and I'm going to wet the paper around the guy as well. And I'm not going to wet this area down here quite yet because I don't need to. Let's just go ahead and get that pretty sopping wet. Just like that. Let's go and do some of the area around him as well. Excuse me. As I said, I am going to be burping in today's video. I should have probably used my massive brush for this, but it is what it is. It's too late now. Alrighty. I think that should be perfectly fine for the moment. I'm going to just do one more. Just coming out just like that kind of thing. I think that should be all good. Alright. So I'm just going to go ahead and dry off. I'm going to put this brush right here on the paper towel and just dry it off just a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and actually, no. I was going to be like, oh, I'm going to be using this one. No. I'm a little bit jumbled up today. I'm going to be first off going over with this one, and then I'm going to be adding any details that I want to add with the smaller one later on. So I'm going to do first off a base color of yellow, or a base coat of yellow, and I'm just going to go around the edges just like this. And I'm just going to do that just like that kind of thing, and just try to do a very, very basic base coat just like that. It just gets lighter towards the middle, and there we go. That is pretty much the lightness that I want. Cannot complain. I'm going to go ahead, wet this again, grab some more yellow, and just do that up there again, and just make that side just a little bit more distinct. Grab some more water. And now I'm just going to go ahead and go over the rest of this with my brush and just try to grab some more pigment from this side. And there we go. Almost done. All right, so there's my base layer. I'm feeling pretty good about it in the center. I want the edges around here to be, I want all of these edges right here like this is just about as distinct as I want it. But I want these edges to be a little bit more distinct as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and wet the brush again and go and grab some more paint and go ahead and just start going around these edges as well. And then I'm gonna spread out the pigment. And there we go, perfect. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet the brush, not get any more, and I'm just gonna start dragging the pigment all around. just to start to try to create that little haze that's around the light bulb. I'm actually just going to grab some more paint real quick, stab that just a little bit, and let's just start creating that little haze. And I'm just going to try to blend it all in, grab a bunch of water, just start blending all of that in to the page surrounding the light bulb. And I feel like I want it to be a little bit more distinct. I honestly want the sort of like distinct area to go a little bit outside of the area of the light bulb as well. So I've got no issue with doing that. But overall, so far, I'm feeling like it's looking pretty good. I do think I want to go over with a very, very, very light color, with a very, very, very light layer of orange as well. Once I am done going around the edges and whatnot. I do think I want to go over with a very, very, very light color, or very, very, very light layer of orange, just to give it a slightly different hue than just yellow. And then I am thinking it will be time to do one more layer of yellow after that. And then I'm going to go ahead and handle the base. That's kind of the plan, at least. That's kind of the plan. We're going to just wet the paper around here. And I definitely want, yeah, one more layer of yellow on the inside. It's not quite as yellowy as I want where it's dried, because it's pretty dry right there now. Alrighty. And so now I'm thinking, I'm pretty happy with the area surrounding it. I'm not going to do a layer of orange outside. I think I'm going to leave that yellow. But I am going to do a layer of yellow or orange on the inside. So I'm just going to go and lighten that up, and I'm just going to start going over just like that. There we go. All right, so there's some orange down. I think that's all good. I do want a slight bit of orange going. I know I said I didn't want it going around the edges, but I think I actually do. Let's grab some more water. There we go. So I just want a little bit of orange just going right around the edge. Nothing like spreading out though. Too much at least. A little bit, sure, but I think the orange will just add a little bit of a darker tone to it, which is what I want. That's too light though. I'm just trying to be very careful. It's better to do too little orange than too much, because if I do too much, it's going to ruin the whole thing. Maybe not ruin the whole thing. It'll be recoverable. Excuse me. But I would definitely prefer not to have too much orange. That's for sure. So I'm going to be very, very, very careful. think that's just about perfect. There we go. All right, I'm thinking that is looking pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. And now I'm thinking it is time for me to go ahead. The inside is mostly dry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check my water. My water's all good. And I'm just gonna do some more. I'm just gonna wet the page once again. Just get a, I love having lighting when I'm doing art. It's so nice because then I can actually tell where the page is glossy from being wet. Just hold my head at a certain angle and it's perfect. I love it. So glad I've got a ring light literally set up just to light the page. It's so nice, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And there we go, and let's do another layer of yellow. And I think I'm gonna do another, the middle is looking pretty much exactly how I want. I do want just a little bit more yellow in the middle though. There we go, perfect. Alrighty, so now I'm thinking I'm gonna do some more yellow just around the edges as well. Just spread that all out. That was a bit too dry. Oh well. And wow, the layers are really paying off. The layers really are paying off right now. It's looking so much better than it was at the beginning. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Man, oh man, I love doing layers. They really do be paying off. And there we go. All right, I'm thinking that is just about done. I am just gonna line some of that up around the base as well, just to make it look like it's just a little bit more complete. And I think I'll probably do one more layer of yellow once it dries, just to give the inside a little bit more of a distinct look, as the outside is pretty bright as well. I definitely want to make the inside look a little bit brighter as well, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to do one more layer of orange around the inside, and then I'm going to do one more layer of yellow, but I'm going to let it dry first. And so as such, I'm going to go ahead and clean off this brush. Oh, just looking at it real quick, just up. It's looking pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with it, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. So let's just let it dry real quick, and then I'm gonna get back to that part. But real quick, I am just gonna do the bottom, which it shouldn't be. Almost took a sip out of this. which shouldn't be too difficult because I'm just going to do that in gray. And it's just going to be like one layer of gray except for this, which is going to be darker, but I might just do that in pen, honestly, and just make that super dark in pen. But let's just go ahead and grab some black real quick. There we go. I'm going to do this on dry just so the paint doesn't spread around all that much. And I might have to dump out my water in just a minute. You know, that's pretty much all I wanted to do with the base. Just go ahead and clean that up just a little bit. And then the rest of that will be in pen. There we go. Yep, darker at the top, a little bit lighter, a little dark right there. But hey, it's pretty much turned out how I want. I might do one more. One more layer down here just to make this a little bit more distinct. But no, it's pretty much turned out how I want. And there we go. I can always do another layer in the future. I'm just going to go ahead and let that dry. And I am all done with that. Just taking a look at the water. It's getting kind of muddled. It's getting kind of dark, so I might go dump that out in just a moment. I'm just going to go and dry this off real quick. That's all dry. Alrighty. So what do I want to do next? Do I want to go ahead and do a layer of orange? I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and do a layer of orange on the inside of the light bulb. So let's go and do that. All right, and the water, I know I said I was getting a bit muddled, but it's not too bad. So I'm just gonna leave it as is because I'd much rather not get up and go get. I'd much rather not get up and go get more. I'm just gonna check that. All right, cool. And let's just do another layer of orange all the way around. I want the orange to be a little bit more distinct. So I gotta pick up more pigment, I think. But not too much. That's a bit too much. Let's just commit. I'll just spread it out. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Just commit to spreading it out. And let's do the same thing on the, actually I should grab some water first and do the same thing on the top now. It's a bit too light, but I think it should be okay. Alrighty. So it's looking much more orangey now. There we go. All right, looking pretty good if I do say so myself. I just want to do that. There we go. And then I think I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and go over it with another layer of yellow. For that moment though, when I'm just letting it cement itself just a little bit, I'm just gonna take a sip of Monster. I'm gonna go and clean out my brush just a little bit. There we go. And I'm just gonna let it chill for a moment, let it dry on its own. I don't want to dab it with the napkin or anything like that, because I actually don't want a texture, at the moment at least, I don't want a texture that's like below other watercolor paint. If I'm gonna have the texture, I want it to be at the very top layer. But so far, I am pretty happy with how this is turning out. I think real quick, do I want to do another layer for this? I don't know. I kind of like it, but I also kind of want to do another layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of the black right from right there. That's pretty good. I'm just going to... Actually, that didn't do nothing. I'm going to just go over all of this and just make it a little bit darker. There we go. Perfect, perfect. And I think I'm going to stick with that. Just wanted to do one extra layer. I'm sure I could add some other color to it or something like that, but I don't think I need to. I don't feel the need to do that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the inside of the light bulb. I think I'm going to go ahead and start going over with another layer of yellow now. Grab a bunch of yellow and just start going over really, really, really distinctly. That's the plan now. Just get a bunch of yellow all on there and let's just start going over it. Want that again, grab a bunch more yellow. And yeah, I'm thinking that's it. I'm thinking that is all good. I've got the edges all distinct just like I want. And I'm thinking now it's just time to go ahead and finish it off with some pen. It does definitely need to dry though. It does definitely need to dry though, but I can accelerate that process. And not with a hairdryer, because I don't have a hairdryer on me today. There is one somewhere around, but I don't have one on me today. First off though, I'm just gonna go ahead and dry off both of my brushes. I'm gonna go and put this brush back in its holder now. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and dry this brush off as well. Ooh, excuse me. Just like that. I'm gonna go and put this one back as well. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just say F it. I'm actually gonna grab a new paper towel just so I don't, oh, where'd I put my paper towels? There we go. Gonna go and grab just another paper towel and just going to go ahead and dry it off just like that, just like this. Boom, boom. And then let's go like that, and let's go like that, and like that. And I'm gonna now unfold it and do this again. And there we go. All right, so doing that definitely did make the colors actually a lot less distinct, but I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too bad. Definitely we still get the glow, and then it's kind of just fading out around it. I do definitely think some things I could do better, but I don't feel like doing right now are honestly the area surrounding it. I think I could have blended it a little bit more. I don't feel like doing any more watercolor painting to do that at the moment, though. I think it's perfectly fine as is. I don't see any issues besides just that one minor thing. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is at right now. Alrighty, just finished off my monster. And now it is time for me to go ahead and start going over all of the lines with my Sharpie S gel pen though. So I'm just going to go and start with the bottom, which is the driest area. And I'm just going to go over all of these lines first. And then after I go over all of the lines, including the top portion, I'm going to go over all of the lines again. I'm just going to go and color that one in and just make them all look a little bit more distinct. There we go. Let's go and do this bottom one. Oh, filament. That's what it's called. It's called a filament. I'm just going to actually put that away. just for the moment, just so I can move the page around just a little bit more. I'm going to move this over to the edge of the table, and I'm going to move these over as well. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and start being very careful while going around here. Whoopsies. Yeah, the page bending, definitely not optimal, but it is what it is. I'll just go upside down. There we go. Let's go and do the eyes. Let's go do the mouth. Oh yeah, that page is soaking wet. Just like that. Let's go and do the other one now. Whoopsies. Just like that. And there we go. That's looking pretty good. They're not exactly the same, that is for sure. But I think it should be close enough. Whatever. No need to worry about it. There we go. Good enough for me. And that's all of the lines done now. Do I want to give him some arms or anything like that? I am kind of thinking I do. So I'm just going to have one arm stretching out from here. He's not going to be getting any legs today, I'm thinking. And that, just go to this side. About the same length. Just like that. And there we go. So he's got some arms now. And now I'm thinking I just need to go over all of the lines once again, and then I will be done with this watercolor painting, this drawing, whatever you want to call it, right here. Overall, am I happy with how this is turning out so far? Yeah, no, I think I'm more happy than not, that is for sure. I do honestly kind of regret dabbing it with the paper towel. Like, obviously, I don't just want to sit here for 15 minutes and let it dry, but also, I don't really want to... I am a little bit disappointed. The colors were much more distinct before I dried it, and I'm sure they would have gotten less distinct drying normally anyway, but I feel like they might have not been as distinct, because I definitely did take off a lot of pigment with that paper towel. But let's go ahead and just start going over all of these lines once again and just making them all just a little bit more distinct. Just like that. There we go. And I'm thinking now, I'm going to go over this one more time. Let's go over the filament now. And now I'm going to go ahead and go over the rest of the light bulb. And let's just go ahead and continue going around the rest of the light bulb for the moment at least. There we go. No complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. No complaints on my behalf. So let's just go ahead and continue going around this. Just like that. And just stretch it all the way down to here. Go up a little bit more. There we go. That line is looking much more distinct now. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Let's go ahead and go over the eyes, I'm thinking. I'm going to go over this first, just work my way down. And I'm going to go over the eyes. Just like that, just make them a little bit thicker. Just like that. Perfect, perfect. Let's go and go over the eye lines. Just like that. And now let's go ahead and go over the nose. And these two lines right here. And let's do the arms once again. Alrighty. Just standing up and taking a look at it. What are my final thoughts on this watercolor painting right here? Well, looking at it through the camera and looking at it from a little bit further away, I definitely do think I'm a little bit more happy with it than I was than looking at it up close. I certainly don't think that this drawing right here is bad by any means. I certainly do not, and I certainly don't want to say that. It's not exactly what I had envisioned. I definitely wanted a little bit more of like sort of an orange glow as well. And I don't really have that. I don't really have that with this watercolor painting right here, but I don't really think that's a bad thing. I certainly don't really think that's a bad thing. And I really do have no complaints on my behalf. This definitely turned out pretty much exactly the way I wanted. I think the glow could be a little bit more spread out. I didn't spread out the glow quite enough, but that's not a terribly big deal in all honesty. And I definitely do think that I made it, visually at least, look like it's glowing. I think the only really way I can make it look more like it's glowing is go over the inside of the lines once again with another layer of really distinct yellow, which is what I kind of picked up with the with the paper towels when I was drying it. Otherwise, I feel like it might be a little bit more distinct, but it might have gone away when drying anyway. Who knows, in all honesty. Either way, I am definitely more happy with this drawing than not, and I feel like it's turned out pretty well. One thing I do want to do, though, is I want to make the mouth a little bit thicker as a whole. There we go. And there we go. I think that is all it. Oh, I forgot one thing. I want to do nose lines. Of course. How could I forget? And there we go. All right. It is all done now. That is the light bulb, y'all. That is the light bulb. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I watercolor paint a light bulb. Excuse me, I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. And if you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, like, subscribe. Make sure to leave any constructive criticism you guys have for this watercolor right here and any watercolor tips you guys might have for me in the comments down below. And of course, please make sure to check out my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my main channel, all in the description down below. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, y'all. To the next one, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?